Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another video. I'm going to be doing my WandaVision spoiler review here. If you haven't seen the show, definitely come back and watch it. Come back after you watch it, I do recommend it. This is going to be heavily influenced on spoilers. But yeah, so let's get right into the series. For pros, I really enjoyed the very new and interesting direction Marvel took with this series. It felt completely different than anything they've done in their past, and I really did appreciate that. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda had such a great arc throughout the series. She also did a really fantastic job acting. I felt every emotion that she tried to portray. Paul Bettany as Vision did a really great job as always. I really enjoyed his performance. The scene where he was acting against himself in the final episode, White Vision versus regular Vision, was super well done. Really incredible acting by Paul Bettany there. Tiona Paris as Monica Rambeau did a great job. One of my favorite scenes throughout the series was when she got her powers, the way that the screen kind of, I don't want to say faded, but all the colors kind of faded, I guess. And that was really well done. I really liked what they did with her backstory, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. Jimmy Woo and Darcy, I really liked their chemistry on screen. They were a great couple to see together, and it was super fun whenever they were on screen together. One of the best lines in the entire MCU was from Vision in Episode 8. What is grief if not love persevering? That's so deep, such a fantastic line. It can be used for anyone either struggling with grief or anyone in general. It's just a fantastic line. I'm so glad they had it. It's definitely one of the saving graces of the show. At the end of episode 9, the Secret Invasion setup was super cool. And I don't know how they're going to go about doing that, but I'm excited to see what they do at the very least. And finally, my last pro is the Scarlet Witch comic accurate costume that she got at the end of the last episode. Awesome. So fantastic to see on screen. And yeah, let's get right into the not so good parts of the series, which I do have a lot. Even though I do like the show, overall, there's a lot of negatives that I do encounter. To start, it felt like Marvel, the theorists, including myself, and actors' promises completely blueballed the audience. And I understand that the MCU isn't ending anytime soon, so some of the unanswered questions are probably going to be answered in following movies, but I invested a lot of time in this series. I know a lot of you guys did, and seeing a lot of the arcs are a lot of questions left unanswered at the end or not being completely fulfilled kind of left me unhappy, and that was not very good. What I mean by the actors' promises, when I said feeling blueballed, I meant, okay, so spoilers for Mandalorian. If you haven't seen it, plug your ears and you want to see it. If not, so Scarlet Witch's actress Elizabeth Olsen said that there was a cameo on the level of Luke Skywalker, and Paul Bettany said there was an actor he always wanted to work with. I took that as him saying it was probably himself acting against himself, and I think that's pretty funny that he said that, because it's someone he always looked up to, he said, and always wanted to act with. So I enjoyed that tweet that he said, but Elizabeth Olsen saying that there was a cameo on the level of Luke Skywalker and then nothing, no cameos at all, was really upsetting. I don't know if she meant Quicksilver maybe, but that was completely not on the level of Elizabeth Olsen. And on the topic of Quicksilver, he was my least favorite part about this season, or about the series in general, because he was my favorite part of all the X-Men movies that he was in, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse in particular, and I think they did him perfectly in that. Evan Peters, I loved his portrayal of the character. So them kind of disrespecting that and turning him into a joke, I didn't like that at all. Apparently he's Ralph Boner and he's not a superhero or Quicksilver at all. Agatha made him. I hope they explain that in further depth and they fix it somehow, but I hated what they did with his character. And finally, with Quicksilver, they had no cool Quicksilver scene. So he had powers. I don't know if they were real or not, or Agatha gave them to him. They did not have a Quicksilver scene with him. And then in the last episode of the series, when Billy and Tommy were fighting Hayward's troops, I guess, they had a perfect opportunity to do one of those Quicksilver X-Men scenes where they slow the camera down and it's just him and everything's slowed down. He's doing stuff, interacting with the other characters in this film or series, I guess. But they just completely took that potential and wasted it, because you see him running around super fast using super speed, and they have a little nod to the X-Men Quicksilver scene where he takes one of the guards' hats and sunglasses, I believe, but they do not show it at all. So they had a really great opportunity there that they just completely missed out on. Another negative I had was the multiverse setup. Marvel ruined this one, I think, because they set it up to seem that it was a direct follow-up, or Multiverse of Madness would be a direct follow-up in Spider-Man No Way Home, but they did not have any impact on the series. There was no real multiverse setup except for the last scene of the post-credits, and I did not like that. I wish it was a bigger element, or they had more time to see. And so the multiverse setup I did not really enjoy. I also think that the last scene with the post-credits that they had, the multiverse, if she was trying to get to the multiverse to have her kids and Vision come back, I don't know if that's what she was doing, but if that's the case, then her character arc is completely ruined for the series, where she went from wanting to make her family come back to understanding grief and having to live with that. And if she completely resets that, there's no point in the series, I think. My next one, even though I liked seeing White Vision throughout the series, I think that he was one of the flaws, because I liked what they did, even though I just said that, where he got reprogrammed, I guess, from the other Vision, and they got his memories back. But then there was no scene with him, meeting Wanda or the kids or anything after that. He just flew away. And there was completely missed potential there. I know they're probably going to have a scene setting up in a future movie, but why? You're in a series now. Why don't you just set it up now? I didn't understand that, but I liked what they did. I didn't like how they executed it. Monica Rambeau and Jimmy Woo, there was a scene for each of them where we're calling for backup, and there was a lot of speculation about Monica maybe calling for Reed Richards when she was doing it to try to get into the Hex. The person she called turned out to be no one we knew at all. And then Jimmy Woo calling for backup. I'm fine with this, I guess, but they had no one coming in. Where he got in the jail in the last episode, they were calling, I think he said Clint, or Cliff maybe, but he had no backstory or anything to pay off that little scene. I don't know why they would put it in there. And then I think this show could have definitely benefited from having longer episodes or another episode. At the beginning of the series, we were told that the series was going to be 6 hours long, I believe, and we did not get anywhere near that. So that was completely disappointing to me, where this definitely could have benefited from being a longer show, but it's okay, I guess. And then my last negative I have was Dottie. There was no payoff to her character at all. In episode 2, Agatha stated, "Dottie is the key to everything in this town," and I quote. And there was a film theory video where they were explaining this perfectly. I really wish that they did what the film theory video said. Obviously, not all the theories are going to be correct, but she was set up perfectly to be Arcana Jones. And if you don't know who that is, she's another witch, and that would have fit in perfectly with this concept. She had the same last name, so Jones, Dottie Jones. The same hair color, she was a blonde in the comics. Same husband's name, so Arcana Jones' husband's name was Philip. In the movie, it was Phil. And then she uses yellow power, so Arcana does, and the roses that Dottie uses were yellow, and Agatha made that kind of an important factor when she said your roses look important or look beautiful. And then they cut to it further down the series, and they show that they're yellow, which kind of set up her being Arcana even more. But they completely do nothing with her character. She's a nobody, I guess. So that was a bit of a letdown. But yes, those are all my negatives for the series. And overall, I did really enjoy it. I wish the ending had a little bit more of what I wanted in Quicksilver, that they didn't just bring back Evan Peters to be a no one. But it's alright, I guess. Looking back all the episodes, I really enjoyed seeing them all come together. Even though, when I think about my favorites, it's hard now. Because originally it was going to be 4. I loved how they set up that she was seeing Vision's dead corpse, and there was a lot of speculation around that. And we were just now getting into all the theories, and it was just getting tense for the first time, and it was getting really good. But the ending, I didn't have everything I wanted it to, so that kind of holds back all the other episodes for me. And yeah, so for final thoughts on it, I think I would give it probably around an 80%, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. On my MCU ranking, I can add it in, and I might do a video about that. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you for watching this review. let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if you guys are watching here. Thanks for checking out the video, and hopefully you guys like the series. I'll see you all in another video. Bye-bye.